The ancient mystery schools knew what quantum physicists are only now discovering. Consciousness directly shapes the fabric of reality itself. You are not a body wandering through space. You are not simply reacting to an objective universe. You are an active participant in an energy-based holographic experience, an unfolding dance of frequencies, patterns, and perception. This is not philosophical fluff. This is foundational truth that has echoed across Hermetic scrolls, Vedantic chants, and Taoist sutras for millennia, and is now being echoed by the quantum sciences of today. At the core of every mystical tradition lies a singular, resounding truth. Everything is energy. The external world is not solid. It is not fixed. It is vibrating potential shaped by your consciousness. This truth was embedded in the teachings of Hermes Trismegistus, who whispered that all is mind. It radiated through the Vedic texts that described the world as Maya, an illusion shaped by awareness. It was mirrored in the Tao, which flows as the eternal pattern beneath all change. And now, from particle wave duality to the observer effect, modern physics is catching up to what the ancients knew long ago. But knowing that everything is energy is only the first layer. The real transformation begins when you learn how to control energy with your consciousness. This isn't about floating off into cosmic abstraction. It's about practical, living wisdom. You can shift reality. You can transmute frequencies. You can expand beyond limitation, not because of belief, but because energy responds to intention. In this guide, you won't be fed vague affirmations or empty spiritual cliches. You'll be taken deep into the blueprint of energetic reality. Through ancient principles validated by cutting-edge science, you will learn to become a conscious director of frequency, a sculptor of vibration, a master of your own inner field. You'll discover the hidden energetic mechanics behind your body, your emotions, your thoughts, and even your destiny. You'll be shown the invisible threads that connect your consciousness to the matrix of existence. And you'll be given keys, real, actionable knowledge for perceiving, transmuting, and directing energy with precision. This is not theory. This is practice. This is the art of energy control through awakened consciousness. And it begins now. What appears solid is an illusion. You're swimming in an ocean of vibrating potential that responds to your conscious awareness. The floor beneath your feet, the device you're using, even the sensations you label as self. None of these are what they appear to be. At their core, all things are vibrating fields of energy, shaped by invisible laws, structured by frequency, and animated by perception. The ancients understood this, and they preserved that understanding in esoteric texts and oral transmissions, waiting for the moment humanity would be ready to remember. The Hermetic tradition gave us 7 guiding principles, cosmic laws that govern the unfolding of the universe. 2 of these are central to understanding reality as energy, mentalism and vibration. Mentalism declares that all is mind, that the universe itself arises within a field of consciousness. Vibration teaches that nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Together, these principles dismantle the illusion of solidity. What you call matter is merely energy condensed to a slow vibration. What you call thought is energy moving at a subtler frequency. Everything exists on a spectrum of vibration, and your consciousness is the tuning fork that aligns with, influences, and even collapses that spectrum into form. Enter sacred geometry. These are not just abstract shapes or religious symbols. They are the blueprints of energy. Spirals, tetrahedrons, golden ratios, these patterns are how energy organizes itself in space. From the spiral of galaxies to the spiral of your DNA, the same underlying geometries repeat. They are the crystalline structures that energy assumes when forming coherent systems. To understand sacred geometry is to read the language of energy itself. Now bring in the quantum observer effect, a phenomenon that shakes the foundation of scientific objectivity. When an observer is present, energy collapses from a cloud of potential into a defined state. Electrons exist in a haze of probability until someone looks. then a choice is made. A single outcome is rendered real. This isn't some metaphor. This is physics confirming that consciousness determines experience. That awareness is not passive. It shapes reality. And this is where ancient wisdom and quantum truth merge. The Vedic rishis spoke of Brahman, the infinite field of consciousness from which the universe arises. The Taoists flowed with Wu Wei, aligning intention with the invisible currents of being. The Hermeticists mastered mental transmutation, changing reality by altering internal frequency. All spoke of the same thing. You do not live in a world of objects, you live in a field of frequencies. And that field is responsive. To navigate this energetic landscape, you must first understand yourself as an energy being. You are not just a body. You are multidimensional, comprised of layers that extend beyond physical sight. The physical body is only the surface. Beneath it lies the etheric body, the blueprint that shapes your cellular form. Beyond that is the astral body, the seat of your emotions and desires. Then the mental body, which governs thought and perception. Each of these bodies vibrates at a different frequency. Each interacts with different layers of the energetic spectrum. And your consciousness flows through all of them. By learning to sense, align, and direct energy within these layers, you begin to shape not only your personal experience, but the field of reality itself. Energy follows attention. This is the law behind manifestation, healing, and transformation. Where your focus goes, energy flows. If your mind is scattered, your energy is fragmented. If your thoughts are chaotic, your field becomes dissonant. But if your awareness is refined, if your intention is clear and directed, then your energy becomes a laser, a force capable of restructuring reality. That is why ancient initiates were trained in focus, in stillness, in inner alignment, not because it was spiritual, but because it was the only way to master energy. And so the illusions begin to dissolve. You no longer view yourself as a powerless being subject to circumstance. You see the truth. You are an energetic architect. Reality is not happening to you. It is flowing from you, from your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, your focus. But this truth demands responsibility. If you are the transmitter of frequency, then you are also the cause of your experience. You cannot claim both victimhood and mastery. You must choose. And when you choose mastery, the field responds. Look again at your life. Look again at your environment. What frequencies are you broadcasting? What vibrations are you aligning with? Your relationships, your health, your abundance. These are all mirrors of your internal field. To shift them, you do not need to chase external outcomes. You need only to shift the frequency within. It begins with awareness. It deepens with knowledge. And it is anchored through practice. In the ancient temples, in the quiet ashrams, in the secret chambers of the initiates, this was the path. This is the path. Everything is energy. And you are the conductor. Your awareness isn't just observing reality. It's creating it in every moment through frequencies that transcend time and space. There is no passive witness. Your consciousness is not some detached lens watching the world unfold from a distance. It is the central mechanism by which energy collapses into form. At the root of every experience you call real is a frequency shaped, filtered, and projected by your own field of awareness. Ancient systems from Egypt to the Indus Valley understood this truth. They didn't just teach meditation for peace or ritual for tradition. They were encoding instructions, maps, on how to become a conscious creator of energy fields. Because when you understand that consciousness is the prime mover, you stop searching outside and begin aligning within. This alignment is not theoretical. It has structure. It has flow. One of the most essential energetic structures of human consciousness is the toroidal field. Imagine a sphere of flowing energy looping from the heart, extending outward in all directions, then curving back into the center. This is the shape of your biofield. The torus is not symbolic. It is literal. It is the geometry through which your consciousness interacts with space, time, and other fields. Your toroidal field broadcasts frequency. Thoughts, emotions, and intentions are not trapped inside your mind. They are emitted as patterns, like signals from a radio tower. Every thought form becomes a wave of influence. This is why environments shift when a strong presence enters the room. It's not charisma, it's energy density. And the reverse is also true. You receive energy through this same field. The quality of what you experience is a direct result of what your torus is tuned to. Thoughts are not isolated. They are entangled. They form a matrix of influence, projecting outward and drawing inward, like attracts like not because of hope, but because of frequency resonance. This is how thought forms become energy constructs. When you hold a belief, an emotion, or a vision with intensity, you're not simply processing data, you're shaping energetic substance. The more charged the thought, the more stable the form it creates. Over time, these forms become embedded in your field. Some empower, others drain. All respond to the frequencies you sustain. Now expand this understanding beyond the personal. Consciousness is not an individual phenomenon. It is nested, fractal, interconnected. You are a node in the vast energetic intelligence known by many names, the Akashic field, the universal mind, the field of all potential. This is not imagination. Even contemporary physics, through the work of thinkers like Ervin Laszlo, speaks of the informed vacuum, a field containing all information past, present, and future, encoded as energy. The ancients knew this as the Book of Life, a non-local field accessible through heightened states of consciousness. In the Hermetic lineage, this was accessed through inner alchemy. In the Vedic tradition, through dhyana and mantra. In the Taoist mysteries, through breath and intention. The goal was the same, to synchronize the personal mind with the infinite field. To become a conscious conductor, not a reactive receiver. Accessing this field requires attunement. And the key center for that attunement lies deep within your brain, the pineal gland. Sometimes called the seat of the soul, this small crystalline gland is the interface between physical and subtle perception. It is light-sensitive, electromagnetic, and piezoelectric, designed to respond to frequency shifts. It is not just a metaphorical third eye. It is a literal antenna, tuned to receive higher vibrational input. When activated, the pineal gland begins to secrete neurochemicals that alter consciousness, expanding awareness, dissolving the illusion of separateness, and allowing direct access to energetic fields normally hidden from waking perception. This is why pineal activation is central to every mystery school. Not for visions or novelty, but to perceive the architecture of energy itself. But perception is not enough. Consciousness must also be stable. Frequency must be coherent. That is where the true power of focused awareness comes in. A scattered mind radiates chaos. A trained mind radiates order. And in a universe of energy, order is power. The moment you direct consciousness without inner conflict, you become a transmitter of focused intention. You are no longer reacting, you are shaping. This is not mental trickery. It is energetic law. Now consider time. Most people believe they are bound by linear progression, past to present to future. But consciousness exists outside time. Frequencies do not obey clocks. When your awareness shifts state, through meditation, breath, or stillness, it moves beyond temporal constraint. You begin to interact with possibilities, not just memories. The future becomes accessible not through logic, but through vibrational alignment. This is how manifestation truly works, not through desperate wishing, but through frequency calibration. You tune your field to the reality you seek, and the quantum field responds. Not because it was commanded, but because the resonance became identical. And this is not limited to personal outcomes. Your consciousness is part of the collective field. The beliefs you hold, the emotions you broadcast, the thoughts you sustain, these influence the larger energetic atmosphere. Your state of being contributes to the morphic resonance of humanity. When enough individuals tune their inner fields to coherence, the entire collective shifts. This is how revolutions begin. This is how paradigms collapse. Not through external action, but through internal frequency alignment. So the idea that consciousness creates reality is not poetic, it is functional. And with it comes sacred responsibility. To control energy with consciousness, you must first understand the frequency of thought. Every thought has a vibrational signature. Some contract, some expand, some bind you to limitation, others open gateways to infinite potential. The thoughts you repeat become dominant frequencies, and dominant frequencies structure the field. But the process goes deeper still. Beneath thought is belief, and belief is frequency held in emotional intensity. These are not just mental patterns. They are embedded programs, shaping how your energy interacts with reality. To change your experience, you must update the vibrational code of your beliefs. And this is where the ancients brought in initiation, not as ceremony, but as energetic rewiring. Every rite, every trial, every teaching was designed to dissolve the frequencies of limitation and awaken the frequencies of mastery. So now ask, what frequencies are you carrying? What thought forms are you feeding? What emotional fields are you amplifying? Because in a universe of energy, these questions are not philosophical, they are structural. To become a conscious director of energy, you must attune all levels of self. Mind, emotion, intention, breath, and will must flow in harmony. Then consciousness becomes a laser, cutting through distortion, aligning the field, transmitting a coherent signal that reality cannot ignore. This is the essence of esoteric power. Not control over others, not metaphysical games, but precision alignment with the mechanics of energy through awakened consciousness. You are not separate from the field. You are the field perceiving itself through a unique node of awareness. And when that awareness becomes stable, intentional, and clear, reality shifts. Not as reaction, but as reflection. The ancient teachings were never just about knowledge. They were about becoming the embodiment of truth, the living interface between spirit and matter, the conscious bridge between frequency and form. And that is who you are. Not a seeker of energy, not a student of it, but a sovereign conductor. The energy is already here. Consciousness is already flowing. The only question is, are you directing it or being directed by it? The choice is yours, and the moment to choose is now. The veils between worlds thin when you know these specific techniques for expanding consciousness. Consciousness is not static. It is elastic, multidimensional, and responsive to inner command. Most individuals move through reality with a narrow bandwidth of perception, unaware that they're only accessing a sliver of what exists. But energy doesn't hide. It simply waits for alignment. When your awareness becomes refined, focused, clear, and attuned, the invisible becomes visible. The unseen reveals itself. The silence starts speaking. This is not mysticism for the sake of mystery. This is application. And perception is the doorway to energetic mastery. To perceive energy, the first requirement is stillness. Not inactivity, but inner stillness. Mental silence that creates space for subtle signals to emerge. This is the entry point. Without stillness, the signals of the energetic world are drowned in noise. Stillness is the tuning dial. And the first technique to access this inner silence is intentional breath. A focused breath cycle, practiced with rhythm and awareness, slows the mental current. Inhale for a count of 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Pause for 4. This is the rhythm of presence. As the breath settles, so does the mind. As the mind settles, your field becomes quiet. And in that quiet, the language of energy begins to surface. From this state of stillness, you begin to perceive the currents around you. Not as thoughts, but as sensations. The ancient mystics called this faculty clairsentience, clear feeling. It's not emotion. It's energetic information processed through sensation. You may feel warmth, pressure, tingling, contraction, or movement. These are not illusions. They are data from the energy matrix. To sharpen clairsentience, you must practice focused awareness. Choose an area of your body, perhaps the palm of your hand or the center of your chest. Close your eyes. Place your full attention there. No thought, just awareness. What do you feel? The longer you sustain attention, the more refined the sensation becomes. This is training. You are developing the muscle of energetic perception. Next, expand the awareness outward. Place your hand above your forearm. Without touching, scan slowly up and down. Sense the subtle boundary of your field. You may detect warmth, density, or resistance. This is your etheric body, the first layer of your energy field. With practice, you'll feel its shape, its flow, and even its fluctuations throughout the day. This is the beginning of energy scanning. Energy scanning is a technique found in almost every esoteric tradition. In Taoist inner alchemy, it is called sensing the qi. In Hermetic teachings, it is the art of tracing vibrational imprints. In modern bioenergetics, it's called field coherence. Regardless of name, the principle is the same. You use focused attention to feel, map, and assess energy in yourself, others, and spaces. To develop skill in scanning, you must refine sensitivity. Begin with your own field. Sit in silence. Slowly bring your hand a few inches away from your body. Hover it around your torso, head, and limbs. What do you feel? Where is there heat? Where is there coldness? Where is there tension or emptiness? These are energetic cues. Don't analyze, observe. Let the sensations speak without mental interpretation. Over time, patterns will emerge. Now move into environmental scanning. Enter a room with presence. Pause at the threshold. Close your eyes. What does the space feel like? Is it expansive or contracted? Is there a sense of heaviness or flow? Where is the energy stagnant? Where is it moving? Your body will respond before your mind does. Trust the physical sensations. They are messages from your field, reacting to the larger energy matrix. The more you scan, the more fluent you become in energetic language. Eventually, you'll be able to sense blockages, areas where the energy isn't flowing, where the vibration is discordant, where something is present that doesn't belong. These blockages may be emotional residues, mental imprints, or even energetic cords from others. Learning to recognize them is crucial for maintaining energetic integrity. Blockages in your field often show up as recurring thoughts, persistent emotional states, or physical discomfort. But they also have a spatial presence. When you scan and find an area that feels dull, spiky, heavy, or static, you're identifying energetic congestion. The goal is not to fight it, but to acknowledge it. Awareness is the first step to transformation. You can also use energetic tools to amplify your perception. A pendulum, for example, responds to subtle currents and can indicate energetic shifts. But the most powerful tool remains your own nervous system. When you are grounded, clear, and centered, your body becomes a precision instrument. The more present you are, the more accurate your perceptions become. This is why daily practice matters. You are not just gathering techniques. You are recalibrating your sensory apparatus. You are training your field to detect information that others miss. You are activating the dormant potential of perception that exists in every human being. There is also the skill of discernment. Perceiving energy is one layer. Understanding its nature is another. Not all sensations mean the same thing. Not all vibrations carry the same intent. Discernment comes from stillness, repetition, and the cultivation of inner knowing. When something feels off, it usually is. But rather than react, observe deeper. Ask internally, is this mine? Is this external? Is this old? The answers often arrive as subtle impressions, not words. Honor them. As your perception sharpens, you'll begin to experience layers of energy. The physical, etheric, emotional, mental, and even astral. Each layer has its own density, frequency, and rhythm. The emotional body, for instance, pulses faster than the physical, but slower than the mental. These layers interpenetrate but are distinct. Learning to differentiate them allows for targeted awareness. You may notice that certain thoughts have a location. They aren't abstract, they hang in the field around your head. Or emotions may gather in your solar plexus or heart center. These are not metaphors. They are real energetic movements. When you trace a sensation to its root, you begin to see how energetic patterns become mental constructs, emotional reactions, or physical symptoms. This understanding brings sovereignty. You are no longer a passenger in your own field. You become the observer, the interpreter, and eventually the transformer. Another key practice is energetic journaling. After your perception exercises, record what you sensed. Over time, patterns will emerge. You'll learn how certain sensations correlate with specific thoughts, environments, or people. You'll begin to predict shifts before they occur. This is precognition, not mystical prophecy, but energetic anticipation based on field intelligence. Also essential is the practice of boundary setting. As your perception increases, you'll become more sensitive to external fields. Without energetic boundaries, you'll absorb what's not yours. This leads to fatigue, confusion, or emotional imbalance. Boundaries are not walls, they are frequencies. A strong boundary is simply a coherent field that doesn't allow entanglement. You can create this boundary through breath, intention, and visualization. As you scan your field, set the command, "My field is sovereign and sealed. Only aligned frequencies may enter." Feel the perimeter of your energy field respond. You may sense a strengthening, a thickening, or a radiant edge forming. This is real. Practice it often. Make it second nature. Finally, engage in multidimensional awareness. You are not limited to the five senses. Inner vision, inner hearing, and direct knowing are faculties of the subtle body. When you sit in silence, ask your awareness to expand beyond the body. Reach into the field. Open to impressions. Trust the process. Insights will come. Images, sensations, and pulses of information will arise. Let them move through you without grasping. This is the art of receptive consciousness. When you combine stillness, focused breath, clairsentient training, scanning techniques, discernment, boundary setting, and multidimensional receptivity, your consciousness begins to operate on a higher octave. You no longer perceive the world as dense matter. You see it for what it truly is, energy shaped by intent, held by awareness, and alive with potential. There are no shortcuts, but there are portals. And each technique you apply is a portal into deeper awareness. Mastery begins not with grand gestures, but with subtle shifts. With the breath, with attention, with presence. The veils are thin. The codes are active. The energy is speaking. Are you listening? These forgotten practices, once reserved for initiates, allow you to transform and direct energy with nothing but focused intention. Energy is never static. It flows, transforms, and responds. The ancients understood that energy, like light, bends to intention. The power to transmute one form of energy into another. Anger into clarity, fear into confidence, stagnation into movement, is not mystical fiction. It is conscious technology. To transmute is to change the vibrational state of energy without losing its essence. And to direct energy is to project that transformed current toward a specific purpose. These are not poetic ideas. They are techniques rooted in the deepest initiatory systems of the past, accessible now to those with the clarity to wield them. Let's begin with the breath of fire, an ancient practice of energy activation used by yogis, mystics, and initiates alike. This rapid, rhythmic breathing charges the solar plexus and energizes the pranic field. Sit tall. Inhale and exhale rapidly through the nose, emphasizing the exhale. The belly pumps. The breath becomes fire. In 30 seconds, the field begins to stir. In 1 minute, the vibrational body activates. In 3, you become a generator of radiant force. This breath ignites the inner fire, what some traditions call Agni, or the divine spark. Once the fire is lit, energy becomes fluid. Stuck patterns begin to release. The key is awareness. Direct the breath not as an unconscious reflex, but as a conscious flame. Use it to burn through fear, lethargy, and stagnation. Use it to raise your frequency. Now enter the realm of visualization, but not the shallow fantasy of wishful thinking. True esoteric visualization is a synthesis of mental image, emotional charge, and energetic imprint. It is the language through which your consciousness speaks to the quantum field. Begin with a simple image, a sphere of light in your heart. Feel it, not just see it, but sense it, pulse it, inhabit it. Breathe into it, charge it with intent, then expand it. See it filling your chest, your body, your field. Let it glow with clarity. This is a thought form, an energetic construct powered by focused will. It's alive, and it listens. You can shape this sphere into anything, a shield, a beam, a vortex. The form matters less than the clarity of intent behind it. If your emotion is strong and your focus unwavering, the thought form gains weight in the energetic field. It becomes a tool, a bridge, a container. You are building energy architecture, structures that hold vibration, transmit information, and alter reality. Advanced initiates created energetic temples, constructs in the inner realms that could be returned to, activated, and used for specific purposes. You can do the same. A chamber of silence for deep stillness, a healing vortex for emotional purification, a light grid for protection. These constructs are not fantasy. They are built through repetition, emotion, and intent. And once created, they persist in the energetic dimensions. To direct energy beyond the visual, you must understand vibrational resonance. Every thought has a frequency, every word, a tone, every intention, a waveform. Sound, when consciously used, becomes a carrier of energetic command. The mystery schools encoded this in mantras, sacred syllables that resonate with archetypal forces. Chanting a mantra is not about words. It's about frequency. A properly spoken mantra aligns your field with cosmic patterns. The repetition builds coherence. The sound shapes space. Try the ancient syllable om, prolonged. It vibrates the crown, then the entire field. Feel it. Let it echo. Let the resonance shift your internal rhythm. Toning is another technique. Choose a pitch that resonates in your chest or head. Sustain the tone. Let it wash through your cells. Toning breaks stagnation, realigns internal frequencies, and purifies the energetic pathways. These are not spiritual theatrics, they are vibrational technologies. And then there are mudras, sacred hand positions used to channel energy. Each finger corresponds to an element: thumb, fire; index, air; middle, ether; ring, earth; pinky, water. When you bring fingers together in specific ways, you complete circuits. You direct energy through your subtle body like a conductor guiding current through a system. For example, Trigan Mudra, touching the tip of the thumb to the index finger. This channels air and fire, stimulating higher awareness and mental clarity. Or Prana Mudra, where the thumb touches the ring and pinky fingers. This activates life force, vitality, and grounding. The position of your hands alters the flow of internal energy. It's precise, it's intentional, and it's powerful. These tools, breath, visualization, sound, and gesture, are the building blocks of energy direction. But the core of mastery lies in intention. Without clear intention, these tools are static. With intention, they become gateways. Intention is not a thought. It's a vibrational stance. It's the frequency you hold as you work. If your mind is divided, the energy is scattered. If your mind is clear, the energy is laser-focused. This is why purification of thought is essential. You cannot direct energy through a chaotic field. You must become the still axis around which the current flows. Begin every practice with this command. I direct this energy for the highest harmonic outcome. Let the words saturate your field. Let them become your guiding frequency. This harmonizes your efforts with universal law. You are not forcing. You are aligning. The field responds not to ego but to harmony. There's also the technique of energetic imprinting. Hold an object, a crystal, a piece of jewelry, a glass of water. Focus a specific energy into it: peace, clarity, protection. Visualize the object absorbing the frequency. Speak a word or mantra into it. You've now encoded the object. It holds the vibration. You can carry it, place it, drink it. You've turned matter into a carrier of conscious energy. This is the true art of transmutation and direction. You are not escaping the material world. You are infusing it with awareness. You are turning everyday elements into conscious allies. But take heed, energy does not lie. It amplifies who you are. If you carry doubt, it amplifies doubt. If you carry clarity, it amplifies clarity. The field is a mirror. You are not manipulating it. You are communicating with it. There will come a point where the tools fall away, where the breath becomes natural, the visualizations effortless, the sound intuitive, the mudras spontaneous. You enter the realm of mastery. You no longer do the techniques. You are the technique. Your presence becomes the transmitter. From this place, energy moves before you speak. It shifts because your field demands it. You walk into a room, and the room changes. Not because of ego, because of coherence. This is the hidden inheritance of consciousness, an ancient capability now awakening in those who seek with sincerity. Transmutation is no longer a mystery. Direction is no longer a privilege. Both are your birthright. The tools have returned. The knowledge is here. The current is waiting. Your aura is your energetic immune system. Here's how the adepts strengthen and shield it. Your energetic field is your first and last line of defense. It is your signal, your signature, your sanctuary. Before words are spoken, before actions are taken, your energy speaks. And when it is strong, coherent, and intentional, it not only protects you, it transforms everything it touches. In ancient initiatory paths, the aura was treated with the same reverence as the physical body. Adepts understood that a strong field could deflect harmful frequencies, disarm psychic interference, and amplify one's capacity to transmit thought, emotion, and will. Your aura is your energetic immune system, and like the body, it must be cultivated, cleansed, and reinforced. The first key is boundary awareness. Not every thought you think is yours. Not every emotion you feel originates from within. In a world saturated with frequencies, it is easy to absorb vibrations that do not belong to you. This is not metaphysical speculation. It is energetic mechanics. To create a boundary, begin with intention. Visualize a field of light surrounding your body. An orb, a shield, a membrane. Choose a color that resonates with clarity and power. Gold for invincibility. Violet for transmutation. White for purity. This is not just visualization, it is energetic structuring. Your thought gives it form. Your emotion gives it power. Speak the boundary into being. Only energies that are in resonance with my highest frequency may enter this field. Repeat it. Charge it. This command becomes a vibrational filter. Anything that does not match will dissolve or be reflected away. Next is energetic clearing. Just as you shower to cleanse the body, you must clear the field. Residual thoughts, emotional debris, and stagnant patterns collect over time. If not released, they weigh you down, distort perception, and block flow. Use elemental forces to assist you. Salt baths absorb and transmute negativity. Add sea salt to water, soak in silence, and let the energy dissolve. Smoke, from sage, frankincense, or palo santo, binds and clears dense vibrations. Move the smoke around your field, from crown to soles, with the intent of purification. Sound also clears. Ring a bell, strike a singing bowl, or chant a pure tone. The vibration sweeps through the aura, dislodging disharmony. Sound is order. Use it to bring coherence. You can also use your hands to sweep the field. Begin at the head, palms facing the body. Sweep down slowly, imagining your hands gathering and removing old frequencies. Flick the hands away after each sweep. This is a physical gesture, yes, but it moves subtle energy. Another essential practice is cord cutting. When you interact with others, especially emotionally or intimately, energetic cords form. These cords can remain long after the interaction ends, siphoning energy, distorting emotion, and linking your field to old patterns. To release them, first become still. Focus inward. Ask your awareness. Where am I still entangled? You may feel tightness, pressure, or a pulling sensation in certain areas. That's the cord's imprint. Visualize a blade of light, sharp, pure, and conscious. Bring it to the area of the cord and cut with intention. Say aloud, I release all cords, known and unknown, that no longer serve my highest alignment. After cutting, visualize golden light sealing the area. This is not about severing love or memory. It is about reclaiming sovereignty. You are not here to carry the emotional weight of others. You are here to radiate your frequency without distortion. Once the field is clear, it must be strengthened. The most powerful way to do this is through conscious vibration. Every choice you make, what you eat, what you think, what you consume, what you believe affects your frequency. Eat living food. Drink pure water. Speak words of alignment. Practice silence. Move the body. Breathe consciously. All of these are acts of vibrational maintenance. The cleaner your inputs, the higher your output. When your frequency is high, lower energies cannot attach. They cannot penetrate. They cannot distort. You do not need to fight darkness. You simply need to shine so brightly that it cannot exist in your field. You can also call upon elemental energies to amplify your field. The ancients knew this well. Earth provides grounding. Walk barefoot. Sit on stone. Touch a tree. Earth stabilizes the lower chakras and seals energetic leaks. Water purifies, carries memory and flow. Bathe with intention. Stand under a waterfall of light. Let emotion move like water without resistance. Fire transforms. Gaze into flame. Visualize an inner fire burning away stagnation. Use the breath to stoke it. Fire activates will and courage. Air brings clarity. Use wind or breathwork to clear the mental field. Breathe in intention. Exhale limitation. Air expands perception. Ether connects all. It is the unseen, the subtle, the space between. Meditate in silence. Listen between the sounds. Become aware of the void. Ether strengthens the link to your multidimensional self. These elemental forces are not just symbolic, they are intelligent. You are made of them. Call upon them and they respond. Integrate them and your field becomes unshakable. You can also wear or carry energetic tools. Crystals such as black tourmaline, obsidian, and labradorite shield the field. Amulets, talismans, and encoded symbols carry specific frequencies. Charge them with intent, and they become extensions of your will. But remember, the strongest shield is your own coherence. You can wear 1,000 stones, but if your thoughts are scattered and your heart is divided, your field will waver. Integrity is the true armor. Now expand. The aura is not a fixed bubble. Can grow. Through practice, you can radiate your field 10, 20, even 50 feet in all directions. Why would you do this? Because a coherent field uplifts others. It transforms spaces. It becomes a tuning fork for environments. To expand, stand tall. Inhale deeply. With each breath, see your field growing, first to fill the room, then the building, then the horizon. Fill it with golden light. Charge it with peace. Feel its edge pulsing. You are not just a body. You are a beacon. You can also set energetic protocols. For example, whenever I enter a space, my field harmonizes the environment without absorbing disharmony. Or, no energy can enter my field without my conscious permission. Speak it. Believe it. These become laws within your system. Master energy workers live by these codes. They don't absorb. They don't react. They radiate. They shape reality through vibration. And they do it silently through presence. When your aura is strong, you don't need protection. You are the protection. You walk into chaotic environments and they shift. You interact with low frequencies and they transmute. Not because you resist, but because your field is unwavering. This is the way of the adept. You are not here to hide from energy. You are here to master it. To protect and expand your field is not selfish, it is service. When you are clear, you lift others. When you are aligned, you guide without words. When your frequency is love, it penetrates all walls. Strengthen your field. Keep it clean. Keep it radiant. And let it do the work. Once mastered, these principles allow you to affect not just your reality, but the collective field around you. You've begun to understand the hidden mechanics of energy, the architecture of consciousness, the subtle forces that shape not only your internal experience, but the entire structure of the external world. But now we cross into more powerful territory. This is not theoretical. This is not symbolic. It is direct engagement with the energetic matrix of creation itself. And once understood, you will realize you are not merely an individual moving through a field. You are a field influencing the collective. Reality is responsive. It listens. And once your frequency is consistent and your field coherent, you are able to interact with energy across time and space, not as a passive observer, but as a conscious architect. Begin with remote energy work. Energy is not bound by geography. It is not limited by distance. The field is holographic, each point contains the whole, which means that when you project coherent intention with clarity and emotional force, it reaches its target instantly. Not metaphorically, literally. To begin, enter a deep meditative state. Connect to your inner stillness. Then, visualize the person, place, or situation you wish to send energy to. Feel the resonance. Focus not on what is wrong or missing. Focus on what is already whole, already healed, already harmonized. Send that frequency. Imagine a beam of light, a current of energy, flowing from your field into theirs. This is not imagination, it is transmission. Speak mentally or out loud. I send this energy to support the highest alignment of all involved. Do not control. Do not manipulate. Simply offer resonance. The effect may be subtle or immediate, but it is always registered in the field. Energy never goes unnoticed. When sent with integrity, it becomes a seed in the quantum soil of reality. This leads to distant healing, one of the most advanced applications of energy work. Healers throughout the ages, mystics, shamans, saints, have accessed this capacity, not by ritual alone, but by shifting into the higher frequencies where time and space no longer apply. You are capable of this, but it requires precision. First, the alignment of your intent must be pure. You must operate from service, not ego. Second, your field must be stable. If you attempt to transmit healing while entangled in fear or doubt, you project interference. When done properly, distant healing can rebalance chakras, dissolve emotional stagnation, and even catalyze physical transformation. It is not magic. It is the science of vibration applied with mastery. The quantum field responds not to your words, but to your frequency. The more you embody coherence, the more powerful your influence. Now we move to manifestation through energetic resonance. This is not about repeating empty affirmations or wishing passively for outcomes. This is the disciplined practice of becoming a vibrational match to the reality you wish to experience. All realities exist in the field as potential. They are not created from scratch, they are accessed through alignment. To manifest, you must tune your thoughts, emotions, and actions to the frequency of the desired outcome. Not someday, now. You must be the version of yourself who already lives in that reality. The key is consistency. One moment of clarity followed by hours of doubt dissolves the signal. Think of it like a radio station. You must hold the frequency long enough for the signal to stabilize. That is when the field begins to reflect it back to you. People, opportunities, synchronicities, they all shift to match your inner resonance. This is the essence of energy mastery. Not trying to force the external, but shifting the internal until the external has no choice but to rearrange. To support this, align your work with lunar and solar cycles. The ancients knew these rhythms were not symbolic. They are energetic windows. The moon governs the waters of the earth and the emotional body. The sun governs will, clarity, and manifestation. When you synchronize your practices with these cycles, you amplify their effectiveness. New moons are powerful for setting intention. They represent potential, the void, the womb of creation. During this time, enter meditation, clarify what you wish to generate, and plant it in the fertile field of consciousness. Full moons amplify. They bring things to light. They reveal blockages. Use this time for clearing, forgiveness, and energetic release. Channel lunar energy to charge your intentions, but also to remove what no longer resonates. Solar cycles, such as solstices and equinoxes, open energetic portals. These moments of balance or intensity allow you to receive downloads, integrate higher frequencies, and reset your trajectory. On these days, engage in silence, connect to the sun, and ask for guidance from your higher self. You are not separate from these forces. You are composed of them. Your body carries the tides of the moon and the fire of the sun. When you work with cosmic rhythms, your manifestations accelerate. You become part of the natural pulse of creation. Now we approach the doorway of higher dimensional consciousness. This is the territory where time becomes fluid, where thought and outcome merge instantly, where the veils separating you from source begin to dissolve. Higher dimensional consciousness is not a place, it is a frequency band. And as you raise your own frequency, you gain access to information, insight, and awareness beyond the five senses. At this level, guidance becomes direct. Intuition sharpens. Synchronicities multiply. You begin to perceive not only the seen but the unseen energetic currents, symbolic messages, quantum feedback loops. Your reality becomes a conversation with the cosmos. But to maintain access, you must release density. Fear, judgment, attachment, these collapse your frequency. The higher realms are not far away. They are right here, vibrating just above the noise of unconscious thought. To access them, practice silence. Enter states of deep stillness. Use breath to rise into theta states. Expand your awareness beyond the body. Ask questions not to receive immediate answers but to open portals of knowing. Answers may come as images, feelings, inner voices, or direct downloads. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. You may begin to sense future probabilities. You may see energetic grids around people or places. You may feel guidance from your higher self or other intelligences. This is not fantasy. This is the natural result of refined consciousness interacting with the quantum substrate of existence. At this point, your reality becomes malleable. You realize the limitations were never external. They were mental constructs, programs encoded by culture, trauma, and repetition. But now you are free to recode, free to reimagine, free to reconstruct your timeline. You become the artist, not the canvas. And with this power comes responsibility. Because the more you influence the field, the more you affect others. Your vibration is no longer personal, it becomes planetary. Every coherent thought you hold, every frequency of compassion you radiate, every energetic structure you anchor, ripples through the collective. You are not just creating for yourself. You are shaping the morphogenetic field of humanity. You are contributing to the elevation or degradation of the whole. This is why advanced energy work is not taught to the masses casually. It requires maturity. It requires humility. It requires purity of intent. But you are ready. You have walked the inner path. You have refined your awareness. You have trained your focus. Now, the real work begins not of acquiring more knowledge, but of embodying wisdom. Not of chasing outcomes, but of becoming the source of them. This is where the initiate becomes the alchemist, where the seeker becomes the signal, where the observer becomes the creator. You now have the tools. You now hold the codes. The field is listening. The question is, what frequency will you broadcast? This wisdom has been guarded for millennia because of its power. Your conscious stewardship begins now. You have now stepped into a deeper understanding. One that transcends the surface layer of appearances and touches the silent, vibrating core of reality itself. The journey you've taken through this wisdom isn't just informational. It is transformational, because the energy that composes all things is not separate from your awareness. It responds to it. It mirrors it. It is it. From the ancient temples of Hermetic Egypt to the quantum laboratories of today, the message remains unchanged. Consciousness is not a side effect of matter. It is the origin, and matter, all form, all experience, flows from it like ripples from a central point. That point is you. The sages guarded this knowledge not because it was complicated, but because it was powerful. It threatened illusions. It dismantled false hierarchies. It returned the individual to their throne, not as a ruler over others, but as a sovereign within the invisible kingdom of energy. Now you hold the map, but more importantly, you hold the responsibility. Integration begins not when the video ends, but when the wisdom enters your behavior, when it shapes your thoughts, when it refines your choices, when it becomes the unseen architecture of how you move through the world. So, how do you integrate everything you've just uncovered? Begin simply. Every moment is a field of energy. Every word you speak is a wave. Every emotion you feel is a signal. Every thought you think is a thread being woven into the quantum loom of your reality. To integrate is not to memorize, it is to embody. Start by treating your thoughts as energy currents. Not random, but directed. Choose them like you would choose seeds. Will this thought expand your field or constrict it? Will it generate coherence or distortion? Will it support your intention or dilute it? Bring the same awareness to your emotions. Emotional mastery is not suppression. It is alchemical awareness. When a low frequency arises, don't judge it. Witness it. Feel it fully. Then ask, what is this energy asking for? What truth have I denied? What story needs to dissolve? Energy moves when seen with presence. Stagnation only persists in shadows. Your words, spoken or internal, are incantations. They carry vibrational weight. The way you speak to yourself, about others, about your life, it all sculpts the field around you. Refine your language. Speak not just accurately, but energetically. Choose words that match the frequency of what you want to amplify. Then there is behavior, the daily rhythm of how you show up in the world. Do your actions reflect the energy you now know how to generate? Or are they contradicting it? This is the test of integrity, not morality, but energetic coherence. When your inner vibration and outer expression align, the field responds exponentially. But there is something else that cannot be ignored: ethics. The more skilled you become at influencing energy, the more vital it is to be anchored in responsibility. This is not just about shaping your life. It's about the ripples you send into the collective. Every energetic structure you create is felt by others, whether they realize it or not. That's why secrecy was once so common in esoteric schools. The techniques themselves were simple, but without inner maturity, they became dangerous. Just as fire can warm or destroy, energy can heal or manipulate. The choice is yours always. Operate from integrity. Let your practice be rooted in service, not domination. Empower others, don't control them. Seek alignment, not approval. This path is not for vanity. It is for awakening. And awakening is not self-indulgent. It is self-transcendent. If you are truly ready to live this wisdom, then your life becomes a transmission. You won't need to convince anyone. Your field will speak louder than words. Your presence will shift rooms. Your calm will soothe chaos. Your clarity will dissolve confusion. And when you commit to this work, not for a week, not for a month, but as a way of life, the universe itself responds. Synchronizations become your language. Opportunities begin to match your intention. People who resonate at your frequency appear. And most of all, you begin to feel your multidimensional self awakening. Not as a theory, not as a belief, as a direct experience. That is the true gift of energy mastery, not control over others, but the realization that you were never just a person. You are a field of intelligence, awareness, and creative force, experiencing itself through form. Before we close, take a moment to enter a state of stillness. Close your eyes. Let your breath slow. Feel your body not just as flesh, but as a container of light. With each inhale, draw energy from the space around you. With each exhale, release everything that doesn't resonate with your highest self. Now, bring your awareness to the space between your thoughts, the silence behind the mental chatter. That space is where Source lives. That space is where creation begins. Now, speak inwardly. I now align with the highest frequency available to me. Feel your body respond. A gentle tingling, a soft expansion. This is your field attuning. Now visualize a sphere of brilliant light surrounding you. It pulsates with rhythm, like a heartbeat of the cosmos itself. Within this sphere, see all your intentions already fulfilled, not as distant goals but as present realities. Feel the version of yourself who already lives this way. Breathe as that version. Stand as that version. Anchor into that frequency. You are no longer becoming, you are. Now send gratitude into the field. Not for something specific, but for the field itself. For this dance of energy and awareness. For this sacred remembering. When you open your eyes, carry this vibration forward. Because this is not the end. It is the beginning of your conscious evolution. The knowledge has been received. The activation has begun. Now you walk forward not as a seeker of power but as a steward of it. Use this wisdom. Live this frequency. Shape your reality not with force but with alignment. And never forget, everything is energy. And energy responds to consciousness, which means you hold the key. Always have. Now use it.